welcome to a short video which I'm going to go through the process that I went to make this, which is probably call a small sculptural piece. Hope you enjoy the video. So I've turned this small hollow form out of a piece of cherry. It's end grain hollow form. It's about 120mm long, about 80mm at the widest point. What I'm going to do now is make two features in it. So I'm going to cut a slot in one side and a circle on the opposite side. I've got this slight knot feature in here which I don't really want, so I'm going to centre the slot over here. The slot's going to be 2/3 the length, so that's 80mm, so that'll cover that quite nicely. And to get rid of that, it's going to be about 12mm wide as a slot. The width of the slot is going to be about 1/3 of the diameter of the hole on the other side. So I've got a fastener bit that's it's about 35mm is this one, and I'll use that to cut the hole on the other side. First thing I need to do is mark it out. So what I've done is I've set the tool rest at centre height, and I've used the revolving centre in the tailstock to set the height accurately. So just move the tailstock out of the way. So what I want to do is where that knot is just to mark and here the centre of where that is, and then I'll transfer that mark to the other side. So line that up, transfer that across, right, so that's going to be the centre line for the other side. And just move the tool rest round, line this up, and we can mark out where the hole is going to be. So with this, I'll just mark on here the width of the slot that I require. And what I'm going to do then, just bring the tool rest up, and draw two lines down there. Well, that'll fit 80mm, so them to be chucked longer. And that's going to be the slot that we have. On the other side, just extend this line down a bit. And I want the hole to be about a third, centre of the hole should be 1/3 of the way down this piece here. So we've got 80mm length, so that's going to be about 27mm down for the centre of the hole. I'm going to drill the hole first. What I'm going to do to start that is drill a small pilot hole with a 3mm drill. That just gives the point on the fastener bit something to key into so that I don't start skidding across the surface of the vessel. slot, what I'm going to do first is drill a series of small holes, again with a 3mm drill across the bottom here, just inside the lines. And then I'm going to cut down the length of either side, again just inside the lines, down to those holes to get the main piece out. I'm going to use a coping saw to do this, so I should be able to cut down to these holes, and then I'll turn the blade and I should be able to cut across at the bottom to tidy the bottom up. I've tidied the slot and the hole up using some small files and some abrasive, and they're both now being sanded back to 400 grit. I'm going to apply some sanding sealer on it now. I'm going to use spray chestnut cellular sanding sealer. The reason I'm doing that is I can get it down into the vessel, bottom of the vessel, easier than trying to do it by hand, and I'll just do it with the lathe spinning at a low speed. I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes now, and then we're going to colour the inside black with some ebonising lacquer. We're using chestnut ebonising lacquer. I'm going to spray the inside again with the lathe running, so I can get a good even coating. That's the first coat on. Leave that to dry for about 10 minutes and then we'll apply a second coat. I've given the insides 3 coats of the ebonising lacquer to get the finish hours after, and then I've cleaned up these edges around the cutouts to make sure that there was no lacquer on those, and also just around the top there. I'm going to finish the piece using some chestnut acrylic satin lacquer, as I want a satin matte finish on it rather than a high polished finish. I'm going to put one coat on the inside with the lathe spinning as I did with the ebonising lacquer, and then I'll apply the outside with the lathe stationary. I'll put some tape around the chuck so that we don't get any lacquer on the chuck. We'll let that dry thoroughly. I'm going to leave this overnight. We'll denib it and then put a second coat of lacquer on the outside. I gave the piece a second coat of the satin lacquer, parted it off and finished the base, so we've got the finished piece. I then made a small base for it. The thickness of the base is 1/3 of the height of the piece. That was just made out of a piece of walnut that I had that was the right thickness, and I've coated that in 2 coats of the chestnut ebonizing lacquer. There'll be a few pictures, close-up pictures of the piece coming up in a moment. Hope you've enjoyed the video and it was useful to you. If you like, you can subscribe to my channel and then you can get notified when I next do a video. Thank you very much for watching.